Right, everybody? I think I've got to say this is not for kids, right? I think this video isn't for kids because I'm going to be showing some bladed tools. Alright, so if you don't want your kids to see pocket knives and a fixed blade knife, switch over to In the Night Garden. So I was asked just recently to show the knives in these kits, right? And then somebody said, can you show me what's in the silver tin kit, right? I didn't know if you meant that one or the one that's in there, right? So I don't mind going through the pair of them, right? I'll just pause this to get this stuff out. Right, so I've just opened it up basically so I can get it all in the time frame. That is a Ziploc bag, right, which was on the outside. And then here I've got, doing it one-handed, I think this is all tied together. Yeah, it's clicked together, look. That is a Swiss Army knife by Victorinox, right? It's the Swiss Army knife. Little speed link on it, plastic speed link. Whistle, which I got from, that could have been from Mad Dog Survival to tell you the truth. Whistle, small little chem light, and a ferrocerium rod with striker. Okay. The blade on this tin, right? This here is I think it's a K-Bar make, or whoever makes K-Bar. That's what it is. Okay, and it's just a little skeleton blade type thing. So that's that. That's that one. Right, the kit itself, right? Little lightweight polythene bag. Some heavy duty tin foil. Couple of plasters, look. Couple of big ones, couple of small ones. Signal mirror, little flexi signal mirror. Yet another chem light, which is just rolled off onto the floor. Push button torch. In there is a matchbox. I've got Swan Festas in there and Strike Anywhere matches. Whistle. The larger version of the live fire. A small little ferrocerium rod and striker. 2 watch battery torches. What's this in here? One second. In here it's a bit more first aid kit, alcohol wipe, put more plasters, scalpel blade, expanding towel. This here is a Polymath Products refill for your EDC med kit thing. It's a bit like that, right? But it's green, and that fits inside. You've got some liquid skin, which I think is medical super glue in a big sticky plaster. It's all in one. It's quite a good little kit. That refills are good, handy, the cheaper. What we've got now, painkillers, more painkillers. I think there's some suture stitches in the bottom there. Yeah, suture stitches. I think that's the same. Sorry, tape. You know, like surgical tape. Little atom light. Must check that. So that's in that little tin. I'll go for this here. Well, before I get to that tin, right? That's the Tactiglow cord that you get with limitless equipment tins. A couple of zip ties on that, cable ties, polythene bags, water bags, and a wire saw, right? See these wire saws, right? I to and through with these, right? It's something that sometimes I think I'd rather have than not have it, right? Because it's a bit of wire, you know, you can do other things with it, but, you know, it's one of those things, hums and haws. I don't like button compasses at all, just at all. I generally fling them out the kits. Go through this little kit here, which goes in there. Right, this kit. I was never a big one of sticking things on the top of my tins, but I do it. A couple of large, I think they're called mattress needles, those curved needles, right? Sewing needles and some large darning needles. You could use those for all sorts. Large room dressing. Another little flexi mirror, signal mirror. More tin foil. That there's a little locking knife, right? It's I just want to say something, right? Somebody who subscribes to me is a young lad, right? He's cracking on really well with this stuff, right? But he's got himself a neck knife. Now the neck knife is a fixed blade, and he said it was UK legal because it was less than 3 inches. That's not the case. That is not the case at all. Any fixed blade, no matter what size it is, it could be tiny, is unlawful to carry in the UK. Any fixed blade. The same with any locking blade, right? Even if it's a 2-inch blade, 1-inch blade, if it locks, it's classed as unlawful in the UK. UK legal carry, it must be a folding, non-locking blade that's less than 3 inches, right? But there's a decent little folding locking knife in there. There's one of these multi-whistles. I'm very keen on these whistles as a whistle. You've got a ferrocerium rod down the side there. That little end bit there pulls out and you've got your scraper, and it's quite a good whistle, right? So, whistle. That's again from Polymath Products. It's a mag block with a ferrocerium rod down the side. Small little ferrocerium rod. Now I've got a bit of a sewing kit, some salt, some sugar, writing away in paper, and a coffee filter. My favourite. Safety pins. Got safety pins everywhere. A little bit of rubber solution. Rubber patches. Hang on 1 second, I can't remember what's in there. There are painkillers in there. So we've got painkillers in a little stasher pot thing. Obligatory cotton wool, untread cotton wool, stops the rattle. Ranger band, I think they call them, but it's just a bit of an end tube. Another one of those little button torches. You see these button torches, right? You can get these for 10 for a few quid, you know what I mean? And they're worth it. Another little Ranger band. A little bit of gaffer tape. Pencil. Scalpel blade. Condom. Again, these condoms, I'm beginning to... that's force of habit carrying a condom. Do you know that? Because your polythene bags are a lot better. But these can be used for other things. Just other things. Oh, sorry. Got a little tea light candle in there, pre-lit, makes it easier to light. Tampon. Little torch, screw up torch. Couple of glow tags. Tin opener. That's Vaseline. Little screwdrivers. Little pair of adjustable key there, or adjustable wrench, monkey wrench. Miniature little pair of pliers, very small pliers. Metal tweezers. Paper clips. It's an atom light, I think they call that. That's tinder. Tin opener, another scalpel blade, and some more tinders. Right, so basically fire and water, you know what I mean? Main one. That was that kit. I'll go through this kit here for you. Right, I'm presuming it's just the kit that you want to have a look at, right? That's just it's a bit of a short the tip I keep in there, look. Big polythene, proper polythene bag, 2 blankets, 2 cam lights, there'll be other stuff in there. I think there's a sleeping bag. I try to fit the biggest blade that I can in any of my kits. That's just a cheap chad neck knife, it's classed as, but full tang, so it's quite handy. Let's just put that to one side. Mirror, and my water kit here. Very, very simple. Sanitary towels. One second. That there is a tampon, sorry, not a sanitary towel. Folds you up plastic straw, breast milk bags, bigger bags, water purification tablets, and there's a very cheap icing bag in there, which uses a filter. So then that water kit. Put all this to that side so I don't get mixed up. Cotton triangular bandage, priceless bit of kit. Fishing kit. You can just imagine it's just got your normal hooks, line, snare wire, dental floss, fits in your kits nicely. Spare hooks, miscellaneous, it's got hooks and blades and stuff in. Bit more fishing stuff. Large split shot. Very basic, very elementary. Fishing kit, I think there's a torch in this one. SOS for signal. Yep. Torch, pencil, and there'll be a couple of other things in there, no doubt. Torch and a pencil and a mirror, I think, is in there, right? And pieces of paper. So, crank powered torch. Just a bit of first aid, look. Standard little mini boo-boo kit, first aid, nothing spectacular. 2 mirrors in there, is there? Should be 2 mirrors, yeah. 2 mirrors, inspection, so you can see up your backside and back of your neck and stuff. So, very simple little first aid kit. That there's like Kevlar thread, so like heavy thread, cordage, very good. Fire kit. Just something to be glow in the dark tape on these boxes, different, look, set up differently, one's at an angle. Fire kit, obligatory, cotton wool, tin foil, trioxane it's called, American stuff, firelighting stuff, little, that's a UK legal knife, folding knife, right? Doesn't lock, but it falls and it's less than 3 inches. PCB ferrocerium rod, small live fire, some tampons, and just down in there some of those Tinder quicks. I think it's I think that Zippo do them Tinder quicks. So that's my fire kit in that one. The repair kit, which I was mentioning, just did one the other day. Try to give the lads some ideas. Repair kit, wet dry paper, steel wool, rubber solution, couple of large safety pins, bit of stiff brass wire and dental floss. Selection of large needles. This is in a tobacco tin size, this kit, so it's not, you can fit a fair whack in these little tins. Again, little button torch, obligatory, super glue, sewn kit, little sharpening stone, heat glue, small zip ties, a bit of sandpaper, Fresnel lens, More zip ties, look. Rubber patches. Pencil. More zip ties, and that in there in the bottom is just rubber patches, larger rubber patches. Right? So that's a nice little repair kit there. Like a field repair kit, that one. Right? So that's those tins. Thanks for that. I've got to put all this back together again now. No, I don't mind going through them. But if that wasn't the right tins to show you, ask me again and I'll do it for you, right? But please try to remember, in the UK, any fixed blade, right? Any fixed blade is illegal, no matter how big it is, right? You're not supposed to be carrying them. And the same goes for any locking blade. You just can't have them, right? Even though I do carry them. These are emergency kits, right? I'd only ever go into these kits in a dire emergency. You know, it's rather to have and not use, or hopefully you don't use it, like your first aid kits. But Thomas, please look up the laws, right? You must keep in the laws, right? I'm going to tell you a couple of stories, right? The year before last, right, and a few years like going back, right, I was spending an awful lot of time travelling from Scotland to England, right, just constantly on a train or on a bus, travelling up and down. I was trimming my fingernails, right, on the train with my Swiss Army knife, right, and somebody who was either sat around me noticed that I had a knife and went to get the guard. Now the guard came up and asked me if I had a weapon on me, right? I said, no, I haven't. He said, you've got a knife. I said, I've got a pocket knife, right? And it just so happens to be, I think it was the, what's it called? The Swiss Champ that I had on me, right? So I said, no, I've got a pocket knife, right? It was in my holster. So I showed him it, right? He was more interested in looking through the blades of the knife with me, sitting down looking at it, than he was giving me a bollocking, because he knew it was totally UK legal, right? So keep within the law, right? I'm in a part of the country where you're more likely to get tasered before you get asked, right? And that's jokes, no jokes aside, that is. I would never go outside wielding a knife. Just, you know, keep within the law. And I want to tell you another little story, right, about keeping within the laws. I was out fishing on some public land, right, which was like a flood let off, so I was always constantly watering it, right? Didn't belong to anybody. You don't need a license to fish there, permission to fish there, but it was obviously fishing it, right? So I was fishing there years ago. This is because I had my dog with me, right? Colin, the dog, or Blue, his nickname. So I had Blue with me, the dog, right? Anyway, I was sitting there fishing, and these two blokes came up to me and said, "You can't fish there." I went, "I can." He went, "No, you can't." He said, "Have you got a permit?" I said, "You don't need a permit," and everything. I started going into the lay of the law, you know what I mean, the layman's law and that, and what you could and couldn't do around that area. So anyway, he said, right, well, we'll let you go for today, right? He said, but we don't want to see you back here again, right? Well, I wasn't too sure who he was, right? Because he wasn't an environment and agency officer. Anyway, the next day, I'm back out with the dog. And I just moved a little bit further down just to change the swim, so I was only about 100 yards further away from where I was. This time, one of the same blokes turned up with an environmental agency officer, right? And he said, "I told you that you couldn't fish here," right? I said, no, mate, you told me that I couldn't fish there, pointing further up the bank, right? Anyway, this environmental agency officer, he said, right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to confiscate your fishing kit, right? Well, I stood up. I don't know if anybody's know this about me, but I'm 6'4.5" I was, right, before my back injury. 6'4.5", and I've lost an awful lot of weight. I'm a skeleton to what I was. I was touching around the 18, 19 stone, fit as a fucking fiddle, right? This bloke turned the same colour as boiled shite. The environmental agency officer instantly changed his mind and they walked off, and I never had another problem fishing there ever again. Keep within the law, right? If you start walking about outside with a neck knife like that on you, somebody will just out of badness will tell you, you know. But it does make sense to keep within the law. And just on that, right, see if you go into private land, right, and that's trespass anyway without permission, but they could do you for armed trespass, which is a hell of a charge, right? So you really got to be careful. You've really got to be careful with the laws. If they're the wrong tins that I've showed you, let me know and I'll dig them out, right? But I think that's what you meant by the silver tins. I think it was the blades that you were interested in, right? So that's that one, lads. Sorry for the dodgy cam work, but I hope that helps you. Like I say, look, you see your little repair kit and stuff like that? That's just a cigarette tin size. You know, I've got a fair whack of kit in there to stick things together and sort myself out. To tell you the truth, this little pouch here, this pouch kit here is one of my more favourite kits. I do like that kit more, but this is one of my more favourite kits. Hope that helps you.